Tour Guides. I'm Carrie.
I'm Catherine.
And I'm Bree.
Today we are taking you on a tour of Quito. Bree and I have never been to Quito, but...
I have. So last summer, Colin and I went on a trip for almost 3 weeks, and we went through a lot of different cities in Ecuador with our very special guest for the day. She is a parent of one of my former students who's all grown up now. And they know I love to travel, and her daughter traveled with me on my school trips, and so they invited us to go. And at first they were like, hey, you want to come to Ecuador with us? And I was like, sure. And we were like, ha ha ha. And then we're like, wait, should we actually do this? And we did, and it was so fun. And we got to experience a lot of different things and go all over the country. And we stayed with family, and so it was really neat. So we actually got to experience life in Ecuador. So please welcome our very special guest today.
Thank you, Catherine. Ladies, thank you for having me here. I'm Martha. I'm the mom of the student. And yes, we thought immediately of Catherine to go on this trip because I remember once we talked about it. It's like, oh, you're from Ecuador, I will visit. And then it just, time passed and the opportunity came, and it's not like we were talking about it every day.
Yeah.
It just happened. It's like, oh, we're going to Ecuador, Catherine, want to come? And she said, yes. And we did. And so, when we go to Ecuador, me and my family, my husband and Emilia, we usually go to Quito, and then we go to my husband's town, Cuenca, and we stay there.
Oh, Cuenca came up in my research.
That's where my niece is from, actually.
Okay.
Cuenca is beautiful. It's
Really?
Yeah, it's, I think, one of the prettiest cities.
Oh, okay.
But when you go to Ecuador a lot and you only go to Cuenca, it's like, okay, I need to do something else. But then with Catherine, I told my husband, Catherine is coming and we need to have a tour and we need to bring her places. So we did. We went to several places.
Yes, and Martha helped me as I cried going on a swing over a cliff and ziplining and food poisoning. So thanks.
Yes, food poisoning.
She was my second mom on the trip.
I remember we went at the market. We were eating and it was late. So we were looking at the food in the market and it looked not great. But heck, we are from Ecuador. We can handle the whatevers. But then Catherine disappeared. It was like, okay, she's exploring. And you ate lentils.
I did.
And that was that.
Yep.
I
love lentils.
Yes, 5 minutes later, both of you guys were green.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
We drank a lot of apple Gatorade that day.
Yes.
Which is a thing they have in Ecuador, and it's delicious.
And that saved the day.
Yep.
But we did a lot of things, a lot. We went on the tren, es la nariz del diablo, which means the nose of the devil, which you probably heard of. And so that is closed.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
because of the political climate in Ecuador and things that are happening outside of the coronavirus.
Yes.
And it broke my heart.
Yeah, that was a beautiful trip. We went and we did some dancing.
Yes.
And we went up and we tried.
Kurikinge.
Yeah, we did. We had some fruits that I can't remember the name of, but were really cool.
Yes.
Remember the passion fruity ones?
Yes, and the bread that they gave us, that was made there from the natives. It was so nice.
I saw so many llamas.
You did. Yes, you did.
Llamas make
every
a
time
feature
I see
in
a
my
llama,
story.
oh, Catherine.
Because I would scream every time. They're so cute.
They are. It was lovely.
And we went in the jungle and we went to the river and
yes, Mindo.
Museums. In
Mindo.
We went to
the
the center
rainforest.
of the earth.
Yes, that was the first place we went.
And that was that's
in San Antonio, yes, which is still the province of Pichincha where Quito is.
Yeah.
So that was our first thing because my father lives there, and that's what we did.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. The food is amazing in Ecuador. Can I talk about your food?
Sure, if you want to talk
I
about
just had a delicious Seca De Pollo, which is a chicken stew, very Ecuadorian, that Catherine made. It was very, very delicious.
Thank you.
And some canelazo, which is a typical drink of alcohol in Ecuador that has puntas, we call it in Ecuador, but it is aguardiente with the cinnamon and fruit. Usually in Ecuador, they use naranjilla. I don't think we have naranjillas here in the United States.
No, I used lime and orange juice.
It was very good. Yes, so here we are. We ate, we drank, And now we're
Now we're married.
talking.
Now we're talking. Yeah.
Now we're talking.
So Martha is just going to share a couple of stories that she wanted to share with us.
Yeah, well, it's a legend.
Okay.
Because, they said, oh, share something. I thought, okay, a legend. Why not? Ecuador it's a very Catholic country, like most of Latin America. We were conquered by the Spaniards who brought the religion to us in the early 1500s. So it was imposed on the natives, and that became our culture, the mestizo culture, which is the mix between the Indians, the indígenas, and the Spaniards. And then we were created, us, like people like me. Everybody from Ecuador is mestizo, mixed. And we're all Catholic, whether we like it or not. It's a cultural thing. And,
as an Irish American and an Italian American, I get it. We're Catholic whether we like it or not, too.
Whether we like it or not. So all the stories, every single story in Ecuador has devils and angels, right? Or a church somewhere. So this story is it's a story called Cantuña. Cantuña was a mestizo, says one theory. Other theory says that he wasn't a mestizo, that he was actually an indigenous descendant from one of the big time warriors from one of the tribes of the Incas called Rumiñahui. So we don't know. But Cantuña was an architect at that time in the early 1500s or late 1500s. And the priests hired him to build this big cathedral that, Catherine, you were there.
Yeah.
Remember? We went inside and we took pictures on the stairs.
It was really
pretty.
pretty.
Very beautiful. It's huge. All the churches are amazing there. So we did go to that church. So they hired him, and he was supposed to build it on a certain amount of time, and if he didn't do it, he wasn't going to get paid, says one version. The other one says he was going to jail.
Okay.
I trust that one more. Because the priests, the Spaniards, indigenous, if you don't comply, we will, not good for you.
That seems
So that was,
to be a trend
I
in
think
history.
I'm gonna, So he swore that he was gonna do it, and he did it. And he started building, and then as years went by, it took 100 years to build his church. As years went by and he couldn't finish it, he knew he wasn't gonna finish it, so he started praying to God. The God that the Spaniards told us was the God. So he would pray and pray and pray and pray. God ignored him completely. So after a while of praying and not seeing any results and knowing that he was going to end up not good, he decided to talk to the devil. So he goes and talks to the devil. The devil comes in the smoke and poof, he shows. And he says, okay, I'm going to help you building this church, and you are going to give me your soul at the end. And he was desperate, so he said yes. And he said, okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to accept these terms of this contract until the last stone is put in the atrio, which is the big a part of the church. Until the last stone is put in, I will give you my soul. That's the deal. And so when he agreed and he signed with his blood, boom, lots of devils came and started building the church around. And of course, there's beautiful, very cool drawings and books about all these little demons building this amazing church. And at the end of the night, which was when the time was due, the devil came and said, okay, time to go. We have finished the church and your soul is mine. And Cantuña says, no, it's not, because you did not. And he brings him and he says, you forgot a stone. And indeed, there was a hole in the wall. He didn't put a last stone in the church. Now, there's versions for it as well. They said that Cantuña hid the stone to trick the devil. And the other version that I read said that actually an angel, there's three versions, an angel came and made the stone disappear, not to lose the soul. And there's another version that says that Cantuña wrote on the stone. Yeah. He who lifts this stone acknowledges that God is better than itself. So he knew the devil was not going to pick up the stone to put it. So that's how he saved his soul.
Oh, and he got his church built.
And he got his church.
Yeah.
And you can see the hole on the wall still.
Oh.
Yes, it's a thing.
Well, there's a fly, and my cats are very upset.
Yeah, they like it.
Yeah.
So that's the story of Cantuña. Now, I said that he was told, one of the versions says that he's a descendant of Rumiñahui. Rumiñahui was a big-time warrior that actually he hid a big treasure because the Spaniards came and took the emperor Atahualpa, and they took him for ransom. And he said, we are not going to release you until you give us all the gold. And so Atahualpa sent everybody to get every piece of gold that was in the region. And so everybody will bring the gold. And it was supposed to be in a room with a certain dimensions. And it was millions of dollars, speaking now, billions in gold. But Rumiñahui hid some of the gold. And so there's another legend that says that, and it's still talked about, he hid it and somebody found it at one point in history, and then they died, and then somebody else found it at another point of history, but they still have not officially found it.
Oh. Wow.
There's
No
the
treasure
Tesoro
hunting.
de Rumiñahui, yes.
Always
So
down for a treasure hunt.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, why don't do you want to tell us something about growing up, where you grew up? Just something about
I
like
grew
a fun
up.
childhood memory.
I had a fun childhood memory. It was good. I was born in, my family's from Quito. And I grew up in the jungle of Ecuador. So I was in the country, surrounded by cows and ducks and all the animals and monkeys. And that's a part we didn't get to see. But there is an area called Misawayi, which is like a beach, but it's the Rio Napo, the Rio Misawayi, which goes to the Rio Napo, which is the bigger river, which ends up in the Amazon.
Okay.
And what happens there is that it's very touristic. And now, of course, I'm remembering this when I was 15. Probably now it's more modern and stuff. But I remember there were monkeys there. Mm-hmm. And these monkeys were thieves.
Oh, no.
And they would steal things from the tourists. We were us, people around. We'll take your jewelry or glasses and go. Yes. That was a fun memory of my childhood. Yeah, that was good. And of course, I went to Catholic school there because that's what we do in Ecuador. And I remember we had pets, and one of the pets we had was a cow that we've raised since she was a baby.
Aww.
Because the mother died. She had fallen into a creek and she couldn't come out.
Aww.
But my father and the other people that worked there in the farm, they helped the baby come out of the cow, and then we saved the cow, but the baby cow, the calf, but the cow, they couldn't. So we raised this baby with oatmeal and water, and that was the milk. And he grew up with the dogs. So in his mind, he was a dog. So imagine we would come from school and the dogs would come to say hello. And when he was little, his name was Maurice. That's my brother's name. And he would come and it was all nice, but then he started growing. And he started growing horns. And that was dangerous because he would come to say hello, and we're like, okay, we had to go on the car and be like, okay, we love you. And then we had to sell him.
Yeah.
Aww.
Had to get rid of him because it was a danger.
Horns, yeah.
Yes.
Aww.
That's a fun story.
Yeah.
That's a fun story.
A lot of her family still
That's
lives
great.
in different parts of Ecuador, and they do a lot of work with the arts and a lot of work with the environment. And so we got to do some different things when we were there that were, protection of water resources in Ecuador. And we got to do
A theater class.
some work at a theater class, at a community center in San Antonio. That's for the youth of the area. So it was a really awesome trip. And anything else you want to share with us? Any other pieces of Ecuador you'd like people to know?
Oh, Ecuador is awesome. I think that if you get the opportunity, I don't advise it right now because of the pandemic, but also because the political climate is not great and could be a little dangerous right now.
Yeah.
It wasn't when we went.
No.
It was not. It was it was amazing, but right now it's not good. But it has something for everybody. If you like the jungle, there's the jungle. If you want to go to the coast, you can go to the coast. There is the Galapagos, the archipelago, which has all this natural the turtles and the animals and
Yeah,
all
Darwin.
that. Yes.
Yeah.
And the Sierra, which is mountains, and basically the whole world exists in Ecuador.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful country.
Yeah. Well,
We're
thank
so happy
you.
I got to
so
share with
much
you.
for being
Yeah,
here.
thank you so much.
Yes.
So having Martha here was such a treat. I did go ahead and write up some notes for the canelazo, just so that way I can familiarize y'all, our listeners, about it. So canelazo, from the Spanish canela, or cinnamon, is a traditional Ecuadorian cocktail that originated in the Andes, but it's found all over Ecuador. You can find it at restaurants, cafes, fiestas.
We sure
Ooh,
did. We
fiesta.
found it.
Yeah. It is traditionally served hot and around Christmas, but it's enjoyed any time. I could definitely see myself snuggling up with this drink as soon as the weather turns cold, or just like any time.
I told Catherine, so usually I can't mess with cinnamon, but I was actually able to drink this, and I was really excited, and I told Catherine it tastes like the Christmas I never got to have.
Oh yeah, it tastes like Christmas.
It's so good. And it's like smooth.
All right, I lost my place thinking about Christmas. So it uses some local ingredients. Aguardiente, which is a local alcohol. I'll talk about that more in a little bit. Cinnamon sticks, because it's close to where cinnamon trees are cultivated. So,
I always forget cinnamon's a tree.
I know.
Like it's like bark, and then I
Yeah.
remember, and that's so cool.
Well, and I had to remind myself of that as I was writing these notes, and when I was making this, we'll post pictures. I have the cinnamon sticks in the pot to boil with it, and it expands like bark does.
Yeah.
So
Aw.
it's dried and it's all curled up, and then as we put it in the hot water, it got in there and it expanded back to like its bark shape.
I don't think I knew that because I've been avoiding cinnamon like the plague since I was like 8. So like I knew nothing about cinnamon except like death.
It's
Yeah.
good.
It is really good.
I like cinnamon.
So I was not familiar with aguardiente, so I did some research because I like to know what I'm drinking. The origin is in the Iberian Peninsula, which is Portugal and Spain, and then it spread to the Iberian America, which is Spanish and Portuguese speaking countries in the Americas, which is Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica,
Hey.
Ecuador, Mexico, and Panama. Aguardiente is a compound word, the first part being agua, which is water in Spanish, and ardiente, which means burning in Spanish. So it's literally burning water, or fire water.
Fire.
It can be made by fermenting fruits, grains, tubers. However, true, yes, tubers.
I just edited Zanzibar and we talked about I just listened to one of the first few episodes and we talked about cucumbers. It was Dallas.
Oh.
Cucumber vodka.
Yeah.
It'd just be a mushy tuber.
Tubers.
Tubers. Okay. True aguardiente is made from sugarcane and less commonly bamboo.
Oh.
In Ecuador, the aguardiente is sugarcane based and it's unflavored. If you have it as a shot, it's usually mulled with cinnamon, but it's most commonly used in canelazo, which we are drinking today. Every region in Ecuador has their own version of this, but the base is made up of warm spices, cinnamon, and sugar in a hot pot of water with aguardiente added for a cozy, boozy drink.
Cozy boozy.
It is cozy.
It is. I combined a couple recipes for the one I used today, but it was 1.5 cups of brown sugar, 2 limes juiced, 5 cinnamon sticks, 15 whole cloves, a pinch of salt, 4 cups of water, a half cup of orange juice, and 4 ounces of aguardiente. You add in the brown sugar, lime juice, cloves, cinnamon sticks, and salt to the water and bring it to a boil. Then reduce it to a simmer for about 10 minutes. Remove the pot from the heat and add in the orange juice and aguardiente. Strain and serve while hot. You can garnish it with a little orange slice, not spice, if you want to. But I honestly forgot to strain it, and it turned out just fine. It all sells
It
to the
was
bottom
fine.
anyway.
I mean, I don't like orange juice or cinnamon, and I thought it was great. So
It honestly tastes like cider.
yeah, it tastes like
Just
a
like-
mulled cider.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's like, it's...
I love mulled cider. Oof.
It's delicious. And actually, the aguardiente that I could find here was Colombian. It was literally the only aguardiente I could find. But it just has a little bit more of a licorice flavor to it.
Interesting.
And it's still just so good.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be a staple until I run out of this bottle.
Yeah, it's a good drink. Colin and I drank a lot of it when we were there because it is so, like, it's such a common drink, especially in the mountains, because the Andes are arid mountains, and so it gets really cold at night, like even colder than normal mountains at night. And so they have these little tiny cups that everyone drinks out of, and you just pass along the drink, and you drink it, and it's really lovely.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait until winter so we can have like bonfires, except winter isn't real here. It's a fallacy.
It was also 103 in Dallas today, so
it's too hot here, but it's a nice balmy 67 in my house per usual. So so it was a nice drink.
Yeah. But that's what Martha was saying, that y'all had just like passed around the canelazo and, you know, just chit chat and hang out. And hey, guess what we're doing? Drinking canelazo and chit chatting and hanging out.
It's so good. And I make it very strong in Ecuador.
Yeah, luckily for us, I make it beforehand and don't bring over all of the ingredients to make it stronger. Otherwise, you might have more interesting episodes.
Yeah. See, it's always when we bust out the wine because everything's portioned ahead of time until we start drinking bottles of wine.
And I've told y'all before, I am a wino, so I drink a lot of wine, and I have a lot of wine. Therefore, we just have bottles on hand.
Yes, and that's the problem.
Yeah. Not sorry.
Yeah.
All right. You want to say anything else about your...
I do. So, Seca De Pollo is one of the things that I ate a lot of in Ecuador. That and caldo de gallina and lapangachos and a lot of fried plantains and a lot of... So they're like Mexican tamales, but sometimes they're filled with like a salty, crumbly cheese. And then they have sweet ones that are like sweetened rice, and they're cooked in like bamboo leaves, kind of. They're like cooked in leaves, and they're so good. And I can't remember what they're called. And Martha just said it, and she brought me some, and I still can't remember what they're called.
Oh, yeah.
But they're so good. So Seca De Pollo is one of our favorite things, and it is a cilantro and chicken stew. Something that's really interesting there is that they don't use just like chicken breast. You put the whole chicken in there, bones and everything.
Surprise!
It was surprising for people who I forgot to warn. And it also uses beer, and they use najarillo juice, little orange juice, which is a different citrus fruit that we don't have here. So I just used orange juice and cilantro, cumin, ají, which is peppers, red peppers, tomato, onions, garlic, and like a ton of cilantro and parsley. And it's very good.
Catherine also thought of me and pulled me out some before she put the cilantro in.
Yeah.
So I actually got to eat some, and it was delicious.
Yes, and so we served it on wild rice, which normally you'd use yellow rice. But I could not find any, which is weird because I feel like it's fairly common, but I couldn't find any. So we used wild rice and served it with sliced avocado, and it was pretty delicious. It tasted like when we made it there. I didn't have as long to cook it because we're real busy right now. But if you use like a store-bought chicken, it takes less time because in Ecuador they'll use a gallina, which is like a hen, which is like a gnarled old lady bird who has been through a lot. Like a laying chicken that they would take advantage of and make soup, basically. So, delicious. I'm actually very proud. Martha gave her seal of approval. So I was excited. And you blend everything together. I found gluten-free beer that we use to make it, and you blend everything together. You cook the chicken, and then you stew it together for like an hour and a half.
All right, Bree, would you like to enlighten us with some history and lore?
That's my job.
Sorry I said that weird. I was trying to draw it out so you could get your notes open.
I got it. Thank you.
Lore.
Oh, I never did that thing. So when we were talking about what to name the podcast, one of the things that I really liked was lore whore. So I really want to be called a lore whore. This is the only time, other than when someone says it in a Scottish accent, that I will accept being called a whore. So, just saying.
I meant it is a nice ring to it.
Yeah.
I lovingly named myself a hoe whenever in college at my voice studio, it rhymed with my teacher's names, and so shout out Dr. Wasco. We were the Wasco's Hoes.
Nice.
She changed her name, and so Wasco's Hoes didn't work anymore, so it
Sad
became more PG and
Wait, I just saw this meme.
meme.
It's a meme, yeah. So it says you wake up in the last TV show you watched. This is your new classroom. Where are you? So mine is Downton Abbey, guys. Bruh.
Mine is Mindhunter.
Mine is The Witcher.
Well, I am definitely. Oh my God.
She's such a shit.
She is
Always
in,
in
the,
the
pot.
pot.
She is in the pot.
We're pausing this again to get Olive out of
Olive!
the pot.
Out of the pot.
Chicken. We're back.
Are we though?
We had to put a cover on the pot, so Maya's my cat. So Olive couldn't get to the chicken anymore.
She never
Purple
does
ass
this.
in the pot.
The
Oh,
only
yeah.
thing that they normally like is yogurt.
We took a picture so y'all can see it on the Instagram after this comes out.
Naughty, naughty, new.
At this point, the pictures of the Stanley.
Yes?
That one? That was like something.
Yep.
That, they should be up by now if I've done my job correctly, which, let's be honest,
Fingers
I may
crossed.
not have.
And we'll post one of Ecuador as well.
Yeah.
What she said. I'm gonna need that. Okay, history. So, the first settlers were the Quito people, who were eventually taken over by the Caras culture until they were conquered sometime around the 15th century by the Inca Empire that was based just south of the area in Cusco. Cue all
The poison for
of-
Cusco?
Thank you.
Cusco's poison?
Cusco's poison.
Catherine does it so fucking well.
The poison.
I did the face too.
Cusco's poison.
We'll put that box inside of a box. And when it arrives, we'll smash it with a hammer. It's brilliant. My favorite is more spinach. Or when he goes, my spinach puffs. Oh, Kronk, what a gift. What an A+.
That's why he got his own, like, spin-off.
Cross
God,
new groove.
he's a good guy.
Squeak, squeak, squeak,
Oh,
squeak.
yes. Okay.
Squeak, squeak, squeak. Squeak, 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 squeaking.
So, Quito prospered under the Inca. However, when the Inca ruler died in 1526, as usual, the sons started fighting over the empire. So, one of the sons is eventually captured and executed by the other one in 1532. But his brother didn't fare that much better because he outlived him, but not much longer. That same year, Spanish conquistadors led by Francisco Pizarro took the living brother captive before executing him the following year.
Sorry, I
Sounds
just
about
keep
right.
thinking of Elf when he's like, Francisco. Francisco.
We have elves later.
Elves?
Elves.
Nice.
Yes. Also, my friends back home and I have this tradition where we do Hallowmas, which is Halloween Christmas, but like Christmas for Halloween, and we watch Elf for Halloween, and it needs to be a thing.
I just watch
been
Nightmare
deprived.
Before Christmas every single day between Halloween and Christmas.
Yes. My two favorite holidays are Halloween and Christmas, so all of the things.
Thanksgiving is my favorite, which happens between them. So just everything around it is
Carrie,
that
you are
much
the
better.
only person whose favorite holiday is Thanksgiving. It's literally my birthday, and I could care less.
Okay.
I like food.
It's so interesting. I'm
wine.
a Christmas girl.
Love Christmas. But
Love
I also love
Christmas.
to dress up, so.
Oh, I love Halloween,
and I
too.
love
Oh,
horror. I
the
love
holidays
horror.
are just the best.
Just fall through
Fall.
winter.
Honestly, though.
Yeah.
Fall.
The rest of the year is trash.
Yep.
It's garbage.
September to November. It's where I thrive.
Yes. So the people of Quito turned against the conquistadors because they just like took their beloved ruler,
Sure.
Yeah.
and
That'll do it.
But they didn't really win because Quito was eventually established as a Spanish city in 1534 on the ruins of the Incan city. It is the cradle of pre-Columbian culture. It's nestled between the hills of Panachilo, Silo, I don't know, and Ichimbia.
You know, Martha just showed us all up with
I
her
know.
perfect pronunciation
I know.
of things.
But she's
It's
from
like
there.
she's from
so-
there or something.
I know, but still, it was so smooth.
I know. I was thinking that as she was saying it, and I was like, "Well, I'm gonna sound like a fool later."
I couldn't
Oh,
even
yeah.
say Naranjia right. It was like, no, baby orange.
I was so
Baby
excited
orange.
whenever earlier she was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna talk about some lore," and I was like, "Oh, are you talking about Cantunya?" And she was like, "Oh yeah,
And both of us have that.
oh yeah." So sorry to interrupt.
You're good.
But I was doing my notes, and I could not find anything of, like, real substance. So you're going to see later what I had to concoct. But I did all this research on Cantunya, and I was like, Brie, this is too short for my segment. Do you want to cover this? And so I just put all my research into her little spot.
Bless you.
Bless you.
So sudden.
Those hurt.
Salud.
Nice. I don't even know if I need to cover it anymore because she covered it.
I know, like, that's more thorough than any of my research.
I know.
Martha
Well, and
coming
she-
in clutch.
And she had my version as well in there,
Yeah.
so I was like, but I have plenty of shit to cover.
Yeah, that's fair. So we'll let you get back to it. But I just wanted to shout out. I watched videos on Cantunya.
That's what happened to me with, I don't remember what episode, but we talked about it, and I was like, I found this. And then I read like 5 articles, and I was like, nope, this is Carrie's. And it kept happening.
Yeah. Was it the
It might have been
Shitani?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we just did that. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do not drink it. Do not drink it, Mavis. No.
Why are you so naughty today?
She's going to get shit-faced if she drinks it.
Maybe she
Olive
wants
keeps
to.
putting catnip toys in her water bowl.
Oh my god. Brilliant.
Your cats
Oh.
are druggies.
She's so smart. And we thought it was just a fluke the one time because, like, she has these little spring toys and, like, hard
She
plastic.
did it the first fucking time you guys bought them.
Yeah.
And Nita tried to drink it, and I was like, nope, we're not doing
She
that.
still does it. So, like, if we give her a new one that has the catnip
Yeah.
inside still, she puts it in her water.
She's so smart.
She is Olive. Man,
Too smart for her own good.
she's an alcoholic.
So it's fine.
Ugh,
Just according to your family.
yeah.
I'm not really.
We've gotten nothing done.
Okay. So, it is also spread out along the slopes of the Pichincha, I don't know, volcano. I made it through my first paragraph.
Yay! It's a start.
We're all chill now, though, because we're all full and have drinks, so we're just like, eh.
These are like cozy drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chilling. Anyway, so Quito prospered during the colonial era. It became well known for its high quality of religious art, kind of like Martha was saying earlier. They had lots of new religious orders that migrated to the area during this time. The Jesuits, the Franciscans, the Augustinians, all super...
Catholic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's also the Baroque School of Quito, which was a fusion of Moorish, Spanish, Flemish, Italian, and indigenous art, best represented by monasteries of Santo Domingo and San Francisco and the church and Jesuit college Campania. But they're not just recognized for their architectural value in relation to their contribution to Spanish America and universal art, but also for their more decorative aspects like sculptures and altarpieces. So like all of the things I actually like to look at in church, like the real reason I'm here.
The
So-
organs. Mm.
Yes. So it's funny because I don't go to church, have not since like my sophomore and junior year in high school. But I love, when I studied abroad, I love to go to churches to see the architecture and the art and like all of that. Like I attended fucking mass at the Duomo one time.
Yeah. why
Just
not?
to see the Duomo. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not Catholic even when I
Forgive
did
me,
go
Father,
to church.
for I have sinned. I went to a mass when I wasn't supposed to, but it's okay.
Yeah.
They're chill.
Yeah.
You got to hear some awesome music, I bet.
Yeah, well, and so the Duomo in Milan, people like, they have the actual seating area roped off so that people can still like
Attend-
tour
Yeah.
Yeah.
the outside areas of the church, like inside the church but outside of the pews.
Yeah.
And so you just have people walking around like staring at the church and staring at you as you attend mass and shit.
Yeah.
So that was me. I was one of those people.
That's
Okay.
okay.
That is okay. As someone who now attends church via Zoom, that's okay.
So the Quito School of Art is characterized by syncretism, which is a mix of native and Christian themes. One such piece of art pictures Jesus and his disciples eating guinea pig at the Last Supper, which I know, but it's a traditional food and it's considered an honor. My roommate in Italy was from Peru, and she was like, you can come visit me, my mom would love it, and she would serve you guinea pig, which is like a high honor. And I
Yeah.
was like, I used to have a guinea pig, but I would eat it to honor your family. Like,
Guinea pigs
out
are so
of
cute.
respect.
I
Agree,
like
and-
so like I'm weird enough with meat as it is, and like I love guinea pigs, and I have 2 rats now, and they're all so cute and tiny, and they have little hands, and I don't know. I didn't. I had the opportunity to like order it like Kui, but it looks like a guinea pig. Like it's not
Yeah.
like he's spatchcocked and
No.
put in front of you. And Colin almost ordered it because he really wanted to try it. But we could eat like an entire glorious meal with like fresh fruit juices and everything for like $3. And it was like $15 because it's a delicacy. And so we were too cheap. And also I would have cried.
Yeah.
grew up
I
with
understand the
guinea pigs,
importance,
and
but still.
I don't know if I could do it because specifically my last one, because I had one growing up. Her name was Sally.
Mine
And
was Cuddles.
shut up.
Because when we first got her, she would crawl up your chest and like wrap around your neck and just like cuddle up in a little ball under your chin, and it was the cutest thing.
One of mine's name was Cuddles too,
Aww.
but it was named for me. But yeah, my first one, like it was my first like real pet ever. But she would always bite my fingers, but she also died in my hands, so I feel a really strange connection with her. Yeah, it was horrible. It traumatized me as a child. And then this was still elementary. A few years later, my 5th grade teacher, who my brother also had a couple years before me, had guinea pigs, but one of her future students was allergic to guinea pigs, so she had to get rid of them for the next year. And I was like, I want these guinea pigs. And so she had a mom and 2 babies. And so the mom and the daughter came to me, and someone else got the brother. And it was Cuddles and Ginger.
Aww.
I had a ginger guinea pig. Her name was Ginger.
Was she a Ginger Crescent?
Yes, she was.
Is that the one with like the?
Yep.
Yeah, I have a picture of mine.
I saw one at the pet store and I wanted to get it, and it was like white and butterscotch, like spotty colored, and I was gonna name it Butterscotch because he was so damn cute.
Aw.
But I also wanted to name it Watson so I could be like, "What the fuck, Watson?"
So Colin and I, one thing that we had to discuss about if we get this house, it's like literally 5 times bigger than our current house, which isn't saying that much, but still. And if we get this new house, I was like, babe, I could have so many pets. And he's like, no, and I'm like, but I could.
Zach knows as soon as we get a house, I'm getting a dog.
Like, I could have so many pets.
I'm also desperately trying to find a picture of my guinea pigs because I know I have them on here.
I had Fudgy. I had Mr. Star.
Mr. Star.
Yeah, his name was Star, and then Fudgy and Mr. Star had a lot of babies. And we found them all homes, and we raised them, and then we had Ginger. And now I have Mary, Kate, and Ashley. The acting rats. They're professional actors, except for their show got canceled.
Oh.
which is really sad.
Yeah.
So Mary Kate and Ashley of them.
Yeah, they're
That
still
is very
stars.
making Ashley of them.
Sorry, I loved you when I was little. Not that you'll ever hear this.
What was the slumber party song for those videos?
Oh my gosh. I don't remember. I watched
You're invited. You're invited. There's a lot to do. You're invited. We're excited to see you. Bring your something. We'll laugh and sing a song. The party's about to start. You're invited.
I watched
If it's
all of
up
their
to
movies
me,
when I was
you'll
little.
RSVP. The only movie we had from them was the Mall of America one, and I literally watched it a billion times.
Dude, I loved the like old western one.
Amazing. Wow. Those movies were like great little girl movies.
Yeah.
Man. New York Minute. Do you know
Oh.
that Sam Winchester is in New York Minute?
Are you serious?
No.
Yeah.
I'm also rewatching Supernatural right now.
Oh my god. Colin's a baby, or else we'd be watching it. We're literally doing nothing.
Okay.
Hang on,
So,
I'm trying to find pictures of my guinea pig.
Poor Brie.
I'll talk and you
sorry.
can find it. It's fine. We can segue back.
I found my penis cakes for my bachelorette party.
We're gonna put that on the Instagram too. Scare away the remaining few we haven't scared away yet.
Martha's still there.
Okay, so we're back to Napoleon again, guys, because he invaded everything.
God, Napoleon's in every goddamn
I found
episode.
it. I found it. Cuddles is on the bottom, Ginger's on top.
They're
so cute.
So cute. Brie, can you please get a guinea pig?
I thought about it, but no. Like, my dog would eat it, and they would smell things
Are
up.
you serious? Nita would have no way to find a guinea pig.
She can smell it.
Still.
My cat would
She'd,
probably
like,
eat a full-grown dog.
bark
if she
at one of your
found
shoes.
So. Yeah.
My cats play with the rats. Like, they play. Yeah. I gave the rats a bath yesterday, and it was so cute. Because, like, you put them in the water with, like, the baby soap, and then they like, scoop it up.
Oh.
Do you remember that dachshund I found?
And, like, rub it on themselves. And Colin and I literally sat there, and we were like, how on earth are they this cute? They literally got their little paws wet, like hands, and like washed their hair and stuff. And I could not handle it. It was so
You
cute.
should have taken a video.
I literally was
Like
just
the
in awe.
babies.
I was in awe of those precious humans.
Hey.
They're not humans. They're rats. Is it the penis cake?
Eddie.
Is it the penis cakes?
No, that's the friend I need Brie to meet.
Oh my gosh. Everybody always. I'm just the charity case, guys. It's fine.
Everybody in the club getting chips. That's what I used to think it was.
That's okay when.
But I thought it was like poker chips. I was like, ooh, casino.
When what is it?
We made Red Velvet and it was a mistake.
Bruno Mars. What is that song? Oh my gosh. Hot damn. It says hot damn, but I always thought it said hot pants, and so I refused to say
hot damn.
So I refused to say hot damn, and I've always said hot pants. And when I studied abroad, I got everyone I met to say hot pants with me, and they left Italy saying hot pants to that song. And also, there's like another song, and it's like we're up all night to get. But when it first came on, and it was like super like techno or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought it said we're up on Mexicans, and I'm like, there's no way in fuck you can put this on the radio. What is wrong with you? Nope, I just can't hear.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm done scrolling through pictures and showing them
Back
things
to
to get them
Napoleon,
distracted.
because this fucker makes an appearance every episode.
Also, you're going to have to edit out so much of
I
this because
know.
we're already at 47
Oh my god, I'm
minutes.
crying. Okay.
Sorry.
Napoleon invaded Spain in 1808. He took the king prisoner and put his brother on the throne. Napoleon's
Makes
brother
sense,
on
yeah.
the throne. Of course, Spain wasn't having any of that shit, so they set up their own competing government, and just like that, Spain was at war with itself. So, like any concerned citizen would
Sounds
do,
right.
citizens of Quito staged a rebellion on August 10th, 1809, taking control of Quito and informing the colonial officials that they would be running Quito independently from the rest of Spain until they got their shit together and restored the rightful king of Spain to the throne.
Humble pie. It's called a nice song. It's by Moxie Fruvis, a theatrical improv comedy singing group.
You would.
I know.
So, anyway, Peru got involved and imprisoned the conspirators. The following year, the citizens of Quito tried to stage an assisted jailbreak, but the Spanish were able to ward the people off, and they ended up killing the imprisoned rebels.
Oh,
So, it didn't end well for them.
no.
Finally, Quito was liberated from the Spanish in 1822. It grew slowly and is now a modern metropolis. And I have a quote, because it just was better than I was going to put it. So, the city of Quito forms a harmonious ensemble where nature and man are brought together to create a unique and transcendental work.
Beautiful.
It was lovely. So, those who colonized Quito adapted their architectural plans to their environment, so the natural environment and the man-made architecture could come together in a way that seemed more natural rather than tearing everything down and industrializing it all, like, you know, other
America.
places. She said, and not
Shade.
me, for once. Wasn't me.
I've had enough of America for today.
It's okay. Usually it's me. I was like, I'm not going to say it this time. Infer what you will. Oh, that is a woeful meow.
Olive is upset with us that we
Took away
took
her
away her
chicken.
chicken.
She really did want that chicken.
The urban routes were made so that they line up with the cardinal points on a compass.
Cool.
So, intelligent and cool. I approve. You get my seal of approval. Not that that means shit. So, Quito is extremely diverse. It's a mix of European colonial influence and indigenous practices. Most are Spanish-speaking Catholics, like Martha said, but it's increasingly becoming more diverse and changing, ever-changing.
Cool.
So, yeah. So, on to the lore. There's lots of lore. One article said that you can hear a different legend on every street corner.
Aw.
Which, I love that.
That's
That's
so much.
cute.
Yes, like, Lore whore here. I'm all about it.
Worked it in again. I see what she's trying. It's like us trying to get Blue-Eyed Bandits to start.
I still use it, so like, I don't care. They don't have to call us that. I'm calling us that. So this is random, but you should check out the article on the Tree of Life by magazine in Ecuador. So I'm not going to cover it here, but it was a pretty cool read, and you should definitely check it out for more information on the local habitat, nature, culture, all that jazz, and how it all ties together here. And they also talk about the killing tree.
Ooh.
So that caught my attention. But yeah, I will put the link in the blog.
Yay.
And that's on here twice for some reason. Cool.
Because it's twice as important.
Yeah.
Woo!
Okay, the indigenous foundation of Quito, the legend of a falling star that the king and his people followed because the gods told them to. I feel like this never ends well, but in this case it did.
Oh.
So the star led them to Pichincha volcano, so that's where they established the city.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we already talked about the Cantunio lore, so not going to cover that again. But that was cool, and also I loved hearing it from Martha because it's like a first-hand retelling.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's
that was
oral
awesome.
storytelling,
Yay!
like directly. Oh, so happy.
Beautiful.
Okay. Oh, this one, the Guagua Auca. I don't.
What was that?
Shut up. That's what that was. So it's a demon created by the unbaptized soul of a child.
Oh.
It scares drunks. So,
Whoops.
so
So a regular child.
demon manifests itself with a never-ending squeal that sends despair through the hearts of all those who hear it.
Oh.
But when I read that, I was like, it just sounds like every week at Sunday school because with their fear-mongering, they're like, the wailing of souls and the gnashing of teeth, like every week, and I'm like, just like that. We gumming it. Gnashing
That's
of
it.
teeth.
Did that terrify you?
Yes, like very Spawn of Chucky.
Yeah.
Okay. So people try to find the source of the wailing until they find what they think is a child wrapped up in a blanket, only to later realize that it changes shape and they're actually holding a demon.
Hang on. There is a new psych movie.
Breaking news! PSA!
It comes out tomorrow, and I just found out about it. Whoa, I'm sorry,
You're
but
good.
it's called Lassie Come Home, and I have so many.
Oh, I heard about that.
Well, you didn't
I
tell
was
me,
about to say, Catherine
Carrie.
just looked at you with such a look of betrayal on her face.
I did. You know I love my sweet, sweet
I just like saw it in passing.
dome-headed Dule Hill. God, he's perfect.
I literally just like saw the article in passing. I was like, oh, that's cool, and just kept scrolling.
Speaking of which, did you get the article that I sent to you today?
I did.
I was
Wild.
going to send it to you, but I couldn't find your email address. Because I sent it from my Hotmail account, not my
Oh, okay.
Gmail. But,
That makes
yeah,
sense.
they had their first, what was it called?
Execution.
That federal execution, and they've got like 3 more scheduled.
Since 2004.
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
like 3 more scheduled in the upcoming, I think it was like a week or something. I
Here?
don't know. Yeah.
Dang.
It was an NPR.
NPR article.
Uh-huh. I'll have to show you later because I may be saying it wrong. Don't sue me because I don't remember everything.
Yeah, send that to me later.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, back to the Guagua Aqua. The thing I can't say. The demon baby. According to the stories, those who've encountered that name again
We'll
are
talk about
later...
demon babies next week too.
It's Rosemary's baby. Oh God, Carrie's face.
Get
No,
ready for
we
Chicago, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh.
That's what I'm doing.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. Oh my God.
And-
Have you read The Devil in the White City?
I have read Devil in the White City.
Oh,
So we're getting the H.H. Holmes house and
yes.
Whole House.
Oh my God, guys, I'm so excited for Chicago.
There's
ready
a
for
lot
the
of
spooks.
H's coming your way next week.
Those who've encountered that little demon baby are later found dead, foaming at the mouth. And we talked over the weekend how one of my biggest fears is like little gray-blue dead children. So, yeah, samesies. So, the elf lives in
So
the
don't
jungles
show
and
you the
forests.
picture? I have a picture of the devil baby next week.
Oh God, is it a blue-gray little thing?
It is a demonic looking baby.
Well, that's different.
But it's like, it still looks like a baby.
Does it look like Bella's baby?
Oh God.
Like little Rosemary? Nope.
Nope.
Nessie.
Renesmee.
Renesmee.
Rosemary's
Rosemary
Baby.
earlier. That, anyway. Nessie.
Woof. Sorry.
Okay. Lives in
That
the
comes out in
jungles.
2 weeks.
What?
Like
What?
2.5 weeks.
What the fuck are we talking about?
The new book.
Oh. Okay.
Sorry.
You're good. I was just really confused. Starting this again.
Please do.
The elf. The elf.
Okay. And here we go.
Except I'm not like Catherine where I can't just be like, ha, shut that shit down.
Deep breath in. And oh my gosh, did you see the TEA post?
I don't want to
And
talk
we're
about
back.
TEA. Keep going.
Okay. The fucking elf lives in the jungles. Honestly, when I wrote this, I was like, this little bastard elf's gonna come and kill me, so I just fucked it up even more. Like, he's really gonna kill me now.
Thank God Martha had decorum, because we do not today.
That's why I said, I was like, she's like, oh, thank you. And I was like, thank you. You classed up the joint.
Yeah.
Like, you
For
gave us
real.
some fucking
Thank you, Martha.
legitimacy here in class. Okay. And we bring it back to no class.
And now that she has gone home, we are all sipping our alcohols and giggling uncontrollably.
So, the huge.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's do this before this fucker comes and kills me, okay?
Okay.
The elf lives in the jungles and forests, chilling on big rocks and rivers and stuff. Wears dark clothes and a big hat, and...
It's just me when
Nope,
I'm
wait.
traveling.
Quote, falls in love with beautiful young women whom he begins to follow, end quote. So, I hate to break it to you, dude, but we call that unhealthy obsession and stalking here.
Yeah. Stalking's not really my style.
Yeah, so he draws people's attention by whistling and throwing rocks, so he's like a schoolboy, and then gets super jealous of couples.
Rude.
And some believe it's not just a few scattered here and there, but that there's an entire community of elves.
Cool.
Oh.
Not cool. He stalks people!
I mean, but a colony of elves is kind of cool.
Kind of, but also, like, if they're, like, related to the unseelie fairies, because elves are usually fae.
Yeah.
And so unseelie fairies, bad news bears, death. Okay, so the veiled or covered lady La Dama Tapada. So she only appeared to men walking alone through the streets of the city at midnight.
Ooh,
She
midnight.
appears just a little
Spooky.
ways ahead of the men, who become enchanted by her beauty, so they follow her. And what the fuck is with the stalking man? Like,
Yeah, maybe
get
don't
it
follow
together.
women.
Honestly,
Ever.
you get what you deserve. Oh no!
It was an elf.
Don't do that shit. They're here to kill me.
Well, I did just drop my phone. That's all that happened.
Okay.
Do you want it
So-
back?
Yeah.
Yeah,
can't
my note.
move
My note.
Because I'm balancing my microphone on my thigh right now, which is pretty impressive, I have to say. I have plenty of surface area to work with, though, so...
But my note to self was like, maybe the moral is to stop being, you know, a fucking creeper and following females. Like, I
Maybe.
don't know.
Yeah, you know, like normal things.
But apparently she walked elegantly and seductively and left a sweet smell in her wake. And I said, ew, get out of here with your creeper blame the victim excuses, you fuck.
Yep.
Ugh. So, I was like, I forgot this note. My notes make me giggle. They're not always for you guys, but I read them anyway because then they make me laugh again. So, I said, you are not a dog chasing after a bitch in heat, you nasty. So this is my little side commentary that I just leave for myself, even though I don't need to. So apparently the men just couldn't
Resist.
that word, following the mysterious veiled woman.
It's been like 7 hours.
Oh my god! Stop!
We are actually at an hour now.
Talked for 3/4.
I know! I'm not blaming you!
Just covering your face.
Okay, but we are at an hour, so.
Okay, I'm working on it. Quit interrupting me then. God,
Trying to get us back on track.
Shh. So they said she hypnotized the men with her attractiveness, seeming to invite them in, pursuing her by slightly turning her head and short, whispered glances and a youthful laugh.
Oh, sexy.
Yeah, I hate people so much.
God. It's like, have you ever seen those things where it's like men writing female characters?
Yes.
And it's just like
Oh my
really
God.
bad descriptors
Yes.
of women.
Yes.
That's what that sounds like.
Yeah.
That's why in college they're like, so opposite sexes shouldn't write a character of the opposite sex until they're like more experienced authors. And I was like, No, men just shouldn't write women. Because
Yeah.
it's awful.
They shouldn't write about how they look at women either. Some of them are so bad.
Some of it's so creepy.
And it, like, doesn't even... It can't be a real person.
No.
Like,
No.
what you're describing is not human. So, man.
Like every fairy tale ever describing any woman.
Yeah.
Because they were all written by...
Men.
Terrible.
The fucking... Well, Hans Christian Andersen and the Brothers Grimm.
Yep.
Like, fuck. Okay.
Grimm Brothers Grimm.
Shut up.
They were having a bad day.
They were grim, so it is an apt descriptor.
Pop.
I know. I realized as I was going on that I forgot to pronounce the T. Like it's an app, like an appetizers guy. I can't speak. That was all fucked.
Got it from the App Store.
The men became so obsessed, they didn't realize no one else could even see her. Legend states that the woman would eventually stop walking and address the men, saying something along the lines of, "You see me as I currently am, so if you want to follow me, then follow." Then she'd remove the veil and reveal a very Helen of Troy-like beautiful woman.
Ooh.
For the first few seconds. And then
Ooh, what's she turn into?
Then shadows fell across her face and death set in. Picture that short clip in the intro theme to the TV series True Blood when they show a dead fox at what seems like an accelerated rate of decomp, because they do show it in fast forward.
When you
That's what
came
happened.
in, the
Yes.
air was out.
And then it goes, and there's a naked lady.
Yes,
That-
all the time.
Yeah.
Yes, that. So that's what happened to her face before their very eyes until she was nothing but a terrifying, putrid-smelling skull. The men would then be paralyzed by their fear, and some, they said, even died from their fright.
Well, that's what you get.
Yep.
So they said the origins of this woman is a mystery, but it's speculated that she was a beautiful woman in life who, quote-unquote, sold her flesh. And you know what that means. She was a hood!
Or,
She was a sex worker.
Yes. that's the better
or
word
maybe
for it.
this is another devil thing. Maybe she sold her soul to the
soul.
devil.
But she sold her
maybe.
body to the devil.
Maybe he wanted a skin suit.
I want a skin suit.
How supernatural of you.
I know.
I'm not just a meat suit.
So I'm going to end on a note from this blogger who covered the lore of La Dama Tapada. And this little last note just cracked me the fuck up. He said, "And the moral of the story is, if you're going to get blind drunk and follow a strange woman to a remote location through the darkened back streets of a port city of dubious reputation, first ensure that she is not a homicidal, flame-eyed corpse. Stay safe now." I was like, I appreciate
Wear your mask.
Yeah.
Look out for homicidal corpse ladies.
And that's all she
Don't
wrote,
eat lentils
folks.
at the market. Travel safe, guys.
Advice from the Blue-Eyed Bandits.
We're making a comeback. It's gonna
We
happen.
are. It's gonna happen. So, okay. So, I had a really hard time researching because I would find a really cool story, but there would be like one source on it.
Yeah.
And so, we got a nice little hodgepodge today. And it's about haunted haciendas.
Ah.
So, just for clarity in my brain, I actually had to look up what a hacienda was, and I'm really glad I did because what was in my brain was wrong. So, haciendas are old world style Spanish estates, plantations, or mines, but it's really just an estate of significant size. So, big ass land. They have a social structure resembling a feudal system. So, they have a haciendado, or patron, that were the owners. But the owners tended to live in the closest city. And then administrators would essentially run the estate. They would house conquistadors and employ the commoners. So
Very Downton Abbey.
very Downton Abbey. Many of the remaining haciendas are being retained by descendants of the original owners or have been sold on the market, and some have been refurbished into luxury boutique hotel properties,
Oh, I bet you that's beautiful.
which all three of the ones I'm talking about today are boutique hotels
Awesome.
that you can't go to. They are very affordable, and I would love
we're
to
gonna
go
go
to
to?
all three of them.
Yay, let's go.
So the first one is Mansion del Rio. I don't know why I pronounced mansion like mansion, which is French.
I was about to say that was very French.
I hate French,
We
the
know
language.
languages. We know them.
Sorry.
It's okay.
But the Mansion del Rio. I tried to get more information from their website, but it was flagged as spam on my computer.
Oh, that happened a lot with me
So,
too.
yeah. There's also an Omni La Mansion del Rio in San Antonio, Texas.
Interesting.
And, well, Del Rio.
Of the river, yeah.
Well, I mean, like, the It says Del Rio on the hotel. Yeah, that's the Omni Mansion Del Rio.
Huh.
Yeah. So I had a really hard time finding more information on this.
Yeah, 'cause they were just like San Antonio, but like, no, wrong San Antonio, guys.
And I would like type in Ecuador, but Google would just be like, there's no Ecuador in this, but it has everything else.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you're not getting the most important word in this search.
Yeah.
So, that being said, this little nugget here is pretty short, but there are ghosts. Yeah. It is the furthest from Quito. It's about 7 hours southwest in the city of Guayaquil. I'm
Sure.
gonna pretend that's correct. It's also the youngest, being built in
The city of Maya. I don't know why that just came out right. Like the cadence when you said it.
Guayaquil.
Brooke used to love that.
But this hacienda was built in 1925 by an oil tycoon because the city of Guayaquil has burned to the ground twice. Once by
pulling the
pirates.
I was about to say, hey, London.
Pirates. Bro.
And then another time by arsonists.
Oh. So, sorry, little side note. So, all those books my dad got me for my birthday, he's like, oh, so you're doing a podcast? So, those are going to come in handy, right? And one of them is a pirates book.
Yes.
It's so good. It's like the real story of pirates. And I was like, this is pretty cool,
Love
not going to
it.
lie.
I love
That's
pirates.
amazing.
I love pirates.
So the manager at the Mansion Del Rio says that due to the city being burned down, there aren't many places for old ghosts to hang out. But as you and I both know, that is most definitely not the case.
Okay, good. I was like, that's a lie.
Because doors have been known to suddenly and violently swing open. So make sure you lock all of your locks on your doors.
Do
Always.
That anyway.
Well, yeah.
Hella paranoid.
If not,
Try
you
not to
end up
die.
in my segment.
Right?
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yikes.
But these are also like beautiful getaways.
Oh,
so,
sure.
Yeah.
Lock them.
But also lock your doors.
Yeah.
My dad was telling me a story about how recently in our hometown there have been a lot of people reporting their Ring videos because this woman who looks absolutely methed up has been stealing packages off doors. So lock your doors, monitor your Ring system. Okay, so our second hacienda is San Augustine de Cayo, and it's about an hour and a half south of Quito. It's one of the oldest haciendas in Ecuador, with a history that dates back to the late 15th century, when it served as an Incan fortress, then an Augustinian monastery. The Incan walls were built between 1475 and 1500 in the imperial style. However, it was abandoned by the Incas in 1534 when the Spanish conquistadors passed through the Central Highlands, which was also the same year that Cotopaxi erupted and most likely led to the Incan demise. Many believe that the early temple was dedicated to Cotopaxi volcano. It became quite active again in 1736 when the King of Spain ordered a geodesic mission to Ecuador. St. Augustine de Cayo was a country dwelling for the geographers. Spanish captains, I'm gonna say it like an American, I'm sorry, not really. George Juan and Antonio del Ulloa. Sure.
The face that he accompanied that pronunciation.
It was a very
wonderful.
uncertain face.
It like rode.
They published an account of the mission. Quote, in view of the limited knowledge the Indians had of sciences and the arts, and considering the way their other dwellings are constructed, I'm struggling too.
It's bedtime, guys.
It
It is.
bedtime.
I'm so tired.
My belly is full and my eyes are heavy.
Ye-
What? Why did you give me that look?
I like hurts around down. So, good lord.
We're all so fucked.
I think we're dead.
Are we?
Yeah.
I
This is the afterlife. I got fucking gypped.
I said ye.
That's rude.
Kidding. I'm just kidding. I love you guys.
Yeah, you better, bro.
I wasn't talking about the company.
We helped
Aw.
teach you to love cinnamon again.
I
You're
know.
welcome.
Thank you.
That's, yeah.
Until I get the shits later. Maybe. Who knows?
Okay,
Continue.
I'm going to restart this quote
Yeah.
after I burp. Sorry. Okay.
This is a shit show.
How is this our worst episode?
We're just going to to edit a lot of this out. Sorry, Bree. Okay. Quote, in view of the limited knowledge the Indians had of sciences and arts, and considering the way their other dwellings are constructed, one can easily detect the majesty of its owner by the palace's size, materials, and arrangement. So it was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Fancy schmancy.
Fancy schmancy. In 1804, the German explorer Alexander von Humboldt nicknamed the region, I'm sorry again, Avenida de los Volcanos.
Of the volcanoes.
Yes.
Of the Southern Isles?
Prince Han of the Southern Isles.
Southern
And
Isles.
she says it fast.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
What's his last name? Of the
Of the
Southern Isles.
Same. Sometimes they'll like.
But he described it as a tambo, which was an Incan structure built for administrative and military purposes.
Cool.
That he believes is the resting place for the Incan king Huayna Capac.
We're going with it.
Sure.
Mhm.
I'm sorry if I
He's a
mispronounced
cool
that.
Incan king. We know that.
And then in 1921, the hacienda was purchased by General Leonidas.
I'm a general. Whee! He's not the choice of what I gone with.
He shit the bed at the Battle of Monmouth.
Everyone attack!
Retreat!
Attack!
Retreat! What are you doing? Get back on your feet!
But there's so many of them.
I'm sorry, is this not your speed? Lafayette.
Yes.
Hamilton, take the lead.
Yes, sir. You messed that up, but it's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I appreciated all of that as
I know,
I
I
tried
messed
to
that up.
figure out
I
how
was
to pronounce
that's
his
not
name.
right.
I was just giving a shout out. We all know the words to Hamilton. Do not mistake us. We know it.
And we
We're
will
just
all
real
drunkenly
tired.
sing it.
Honestly, though.
Mm.
No, seriously, I watched it with my mother there, and she's like, she's been singing every fucking word for the past 3 hours. Yes. You're welcome, Kern.
All right. So, General Leonidas Plaza. The last
Gonna
name's
do it
easy.
again.
Please don't. But he was the leader of the liberal revolution and twice the president of Ecuador.
I'm a general. See.
That was a good one.
If y'all could see my face.
Did you just apologize?
No.
That was a good
I
joke.
thought you apologized to our lack of audience.
No, I said if y'all could see my face. Because
That was a good
So
joke,
tired.
Carrie.
We're slap happy, okay?
It was a good joke.
It was a good joke.
Thank you, Bree.
I just want to get through my segment.
Well,
So
I know how I
please.
felt, Carrie.
Okay. But it has stayed in the family since then, and his granddaughter still runs it.
Cool.
Yeah, I was in the middle of a sentence, and y'all interrupted twice with the same joke.
No, I changed it into Spanish for the second one.
How do you say fuck you in Spanish?
I would not say that. That's rude.
Okay. Obviously, over the years, updates had to happen, but they still kept major structures that were built by the Augustine monks and the Incas. The chapel that is on site was primarily built in the 1400s by the Incas as a temple and was added on 2 years later by the monks. The buildings are only made up of stone, and it's said to resemble flint, being very dense and dark. It's
Because
also
the volcano.
I get there. Hang on. It's also carved so well that you can't wedge anything between them. So people have tried to like pry knives between it, and they can't get anything through.
Nice.
So it's a well-built 1400s, well-maintained.
It's staying there for a while.
Go
Yeah.
Incas. You know how to build shit.
So one of the big mysteries is that the stone can be scientifically traced to the Quilotoa volcano, which is 3 hours away. So it is volcanic, but it's not the
And there
Cotopaxi?
cars.
Cotopaxi.
There weren't cars. That's right. Bree.
Right. So it's 3 hours away by car.
Dang. So like
See?
long
it was
distance.
a valid point.
No, it is.
Catherine.
And so, I mean, it was built in the 1400s by the Incas. So one thing that they really want to know is how did they get the stone that they can scientifically trace back to this volcano that
It's
is
like
3 hours
Stonehenge.
away? Yeah, by car. And it maintained this
It's
quality.
aliens. Clearly.
That is what I put in my notes. I was like, this is clearly the work of aliens.
Clearly.
And the second surrounding circle that they found near Stonehenge this
Oh,
year.
yeah, they just did find a new circle in Stonehenge.
Yeah,
This is also the first year they haven't been able to have solstice,
I know.
which
But
is
they
a real
live
bummer.
streamed it,
They did live stream it.
which was beautiful.
Yes.
Okay, the architecture is Inca Imperial and Spanish colonial style. The property is made up of multiple buildings where you can rent out one of 11 rooms to stay. The grounds look gorgeous. I want to stay
Yeah,
here so
Ecuador
bad.
is beautiful nature.
I was also really interested in the excursions that they offered. So you can go up to the local volcano, the Cotopaxi volcano, and go up to the Elenizas hot springs.
I love a good hot spring.
Yeah, we went to one of my bachelorette. I'm not a bachelor. My bachelorette party.
Give me that
Since
look.
we've already talked about that once this episode with
Yeah.
my penis cakes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Or go to an Indian market.
Cool.
From one account that I read, there were alpacas that you can feed
My
carrots to.
fave.
Yeah.
Love.
All this to say
Love 'em.
that there's some wandering spirits.
Is it an alpaca ghost? Because I would die. That's amazing.
You know what? They never really described what they look like. They just
Could be an alpaca.
yeah, because all they said was they heard phantom footsteps and thumps, and
Two
would see
alpacas!
odd things at night.
What song is that?
So, is there an alpaca ghost? Oh,
Phantom faces at the
Thank you.
windows, phantom.
Something at the door. Empty chairs at empty tables.
Sing it, Eddie Redmayne. Sing it.
And my friends
love you.
will sit no more.
Why'd y'all have to kill off Aaron Tveit? Come on now.
Because it's Les
You want a
Mis.
story
Okay,
like that? I know, they
Angera
kill
always has to be
everyone.
hot.
Yeah.
Like I have a theory. Like Angera always.
No,
has
he
to-
does. Like in the book, that's like
Oh yeah,
80% of his personality.
There
Yeah.
are people like that, like for real though.
Yeah.
Know a couple of them.
Yep. Woof. What was I saying? Oh yeah.
We don't
so
know.
phantom footsteps, thumps,
Oh,
and seeing odd things at night. But the property manager will just brush it off, saying it's probably just the groundskeeper making his rounds.
It's just alpacas.
But I absolutely think that they're trying to hide something because they will deter you toward a neighboring hacienda that they leave unnamed. So they're like, oh, the one down the street has ghosts. Go check them out. I see you.
Interesting.
You don't believe in ghosts. Too bad we do.
Spooky.
Woo. Okay, then our final one. If I mispronounce this, sorry, I'm going to be saying it a lot. So it's Hacienda Bensaki. This hacienda is about an hour and 45 minutes northeast of Quito. It has been passed down for 6 generations, spanning
That's cool.
300 years, although its history starts much earlier.
That's cool
Why
though.
can't I get a
Yeah.
hacienda passed down to me?
Right? Hey, grandparents, where's my hacienda?
Fur.
It's a tobacco farm in Kentucky. That's where it
I have nothing.
is.
You have a winery.
Oh, forgot about that.
My grandparents were mushroom farmers, so I don't want it.
I got tobacco.
It's more fun than
You can
mushrooms.
smoke it.
Yeah,
You
but I
can
don't.
stick it in your
Put that
pipe
in your
and
pipe
smoke
and
it, Carrie.
smoke it.
We're
That-
so proud.
That was a good one. We both made the same joke, same time. That means it was extra good. I know. I'm literally falling asleep.
It's not even 9 o'clock yet, and we're all dying.
We're 80, okay?
We are 80. I got full belly and
I
I'm
was
sleepy.
born 80.
When my husband and I went back to his parents' house because his grandmother was dying, he called me an old lady, and his mom was like, "Did you just call her an old lady?" And he's like, "But I was like, no, it's fine. I am. Like, I am 100% an old lady."
1000%.
That reminds me, I found your birthday present, and it's not as cool as the original one, but I have to ask you a question later in order to get it, because the other one was on back order, but it might be a Christmas present, so continue, but...
Okay.
It was relevant to that comment.
To me being an old lady.
Yes!
Well, I am not as old as this property because evidence of inhabitants dates back to 20 AD.
Ooh,
Dang.
So is old.
Damn.
However, the hacienda itself was not established until 1790. Originally, it made sheep wool fabrics.
Oh.
Yeah. Fun fact, in 1823, Simon Bolivar, the eventual president of Gran Colombia and dictator of Peru and the country of Bolivia is named after him, prepared the Battle of Ibarra at
Every time I say
Hacienda
Bolivia,
Bensaki.
I always say it like Activia, so I go, Bolivia!
Yep.
It's
That may
catchy.
have been stuck in my head when I was writing this.
Bolivia!
But yeah, there's a little fun fact. So he prepared for the battle at this hacienda.
Cool.
In 1836, the Treaty of Peace and Friendship between Ecuador and Colombia was signed at Hacienda Bensaki.
Oh.
The current business was established in 1995 when Hacienda Bensaki remodeled the historic heritage house and opened up the Hysteria Hacienda Bensaki. I think I said the name of it 80 times in that paragraph.
Yeah, it was good.
If you ever forget it, it's not my fault, it's your fault. Okay. It is now a thriving bed and breakfast that
Ooh.
has a nice ghost in room 7
I love a good B&B.
With
Yeah.
a ghost.
with a ghost.
That's perfect.
Honestly.
Yeah. So, according to the owner, it likes to lock people out.
Oh.
Oh, you little turd.
Yeah. So, it is a 17th century door that has 2 locks, one that you can use your key for, and one is a privacy deadbolt. If you
Okay.
can see where this is going. He likes to lock the deadbolt as you
Ooh.
walk out of the room. And so the staff would have to go in through a window to unlock this deadbolt.
Oh, no.
And they were like, okay, we're tired of this.
There's like a ghost deadbolts guy who's just like,
right, I'm
room
on it.
7,
Like,
you gotta
damn it,
go.
Susan, I'm so sick of your shit.
Yeah.
Quit locking doors.
The kid who just like took off the gloves to like climb up the wall, like slowly puts them back on to go in through the window again. He's like, well, okay, back at
All
it.
right, here we go. So yeah, obviously that did not go over well with the guests.
Sure.
And so they just stopped allowing people to stay in room 7.
Yeah. Honestly, though, like, I'd be like, dude, get the fuck out of my room.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to sleep here,
Excuse
you
you,
freaker.
ghost. But also, he locks your door for you.
Yeah.
So he's just watching out for your privacy. He just
See,
can't
I'd be
tell when you're
terrified if I
there.
got stuck
Oh, no, I'm
in
saying
there.
as the ghost, I'd be like, dude, get the fuck out of my
Yeah,
room.
excuse me. Obviously, someone died in that room. It's like, this is mine. Get out.
Yeah, I
I
died
own
for
it.
this.
I died to stay here in
I
paradise.
died for this, so get out. Yeah.
Yeah. Staff also had guests tell them that they would see mysterious figures and hear people who weren't there. So, like, they'd hear conversations of people just, like, in the courtyard. They look out and no one's there.
Bruh, I'd so be eavesdropping.
Right? Like, I want to go Scots.
I want the tea from, like, the 18th century.
Yeah. So if you do decide to check out this beautiful hacienda, you can go horseback riding, get a
Oh.
massage, or even learn some cooking techniques with one of their chefs.
All
All
of
of the
that.
things.
That
Yes.
sounds perfect.
So we're going to stay at all of these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I meant, that sounds wonderful.
It
That's like a
does, yeah.
perfect vacation.
Honestly.
Right?
Cooking lessons, massages, horseback riding, a
And
ghost? Man.
Sign me up.
Yes.
Lovely.
I'm there.
I'm about it.
Camalazo?
It reminds
Is
me
she
of your
playing with a chicken bone?
bachelor-
No, that's her
Oh,
favorite toy. That's the one that she'll put in her water.
The catnip one.
Yeah.
Sorry, Olive just like was batting something around in the
No,
kitchen, and I
that's
thought
her.
it was a chicken bone.
We literally have like 8 of them now because she loves them.
Aw.
That
So
reminds me of your bachelorette party, though, and the B&B that we stayed at.
So beautiful.
With
Oh
the
my
fucking
goodness.
suit of armor. Bruh, I got pictures with that suit of armor, and I was like, Scooby-Doo this shit.
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo it. Come on, suit of armor. I was
See,
so excited.
beautiful area.
I
Yeah, that
loved
was
the room that we
real
stayed in because it
tipsy.
had its own little library, and I was like, I feel so regal.
Yes, and then I went upstairs to that closet and the walk on, like, the outside
Oh my
porch, and I,
goodness.
like, tried on the scarves and the hats, and
Yeah,
I was at
so
the vanity
pretty.
and stuff.
So pretty.
Shout out to the B&B.
Yes, that's why
Yeah.
I didn't mention it. Also, I forgot its name. But I was
Beverly
like,
Estate.
Yep.
Shout out if you are ever
North of Dallas. In
want a cute little B&B to stay in,
go there.
go there.
Okay.
We had to
Sponsor us.
travel super far to get there.
Yeah.
so
It's really far away from our
It's
house.
really far away.
I'm moving anyways. Who cares? Okay. Fingers crossed. Okay. So I am going to tell you, my story's not super long. So there's a really prolific serial killer who hunts in the Andes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's still missing, so I will cover him. I tried to pick one that was more focused just on Ecuador because I'll do him for another episode for sure. But I did find an Ecuadorian serial killer that starts in Ecuador. He's not from Quito. He's actually from the southwest along the coast outside of Quito. But Ecuador is not a massive country, so It's within
It's
distance.
like the size
of
of Texas.
Well, they
Yeah.
said it was like the size of Colorado.
Yeah, Ecuador's not big, so I'm counting this as being close enough. Okay.
I also measured in hours, not kilometers or miles, so that
Well,
skews my...
Hours take a lot longer because the roads, the mountains and things.
That's what I was saying. Like, it was... The Hacienda was 7 hours away from Quito, and I was like, that's like from here to...
El Paso?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
Well,
yeah.
so-
So, we're going to count this. So, this is the story of Gilberto Chamba. So, he was born Gilberto Antonio Chamba Jaramillo in 1963 in Machala, Ecuador. So, that's on the coast. And his, like, nickname is the Monster of Machala. And he has been convicted of killing 9 women.
Oh.
So he's been active since 1988
Ooh.
through 2004. And this is a really interesting case because he was released from prison. He moved to Spain where he committed another crime, which
Oh.
he's still in jail for.
Well, good.
Yeah, so we'll talk about it. But it is very interesting about someone who did not change their ways at all, and as soon as they got out of prison, moved so that they could continue to rape and murder.
Ugh.
So he convicted of several murders in southwest Ecuador. So he was released under amnesty. So Martha talked about how the Catholic Church is really prevalent, and so they did an amnesty for a religious ceremony where they grant forgiveness to certain people in jail.
Yeah.
So he was released, and then he goes to Spain, and he was sentenced to 45 years in prison in 2006. So he's pretty recent. Like, he's still there. So he actually admitted to his first crimes in Ecuador, and he was pretty clear about the steps that he took. There's not a whole lot of information, and most of the information I could find was in Spanish, so this is my translations, which aren't always the best, to be fair. I did my very best. But, so, his first victim, he started raping sex workers and moved to murder. And he owned a taxi, and he would drive on the streets in search of clients. A lot of them were young students or sex workers that he would take into his taxi, and then he would brutally rape them and murder them. And so agents who captured him didn't believe that he was the actual murderer because he just didn't seem the type, air quote, and they tried to, like, trick him. They, like, took him somewhere and were like, this is where the murder was. He's like, no, it was over here. So they, like, know it was him. Does that make sense? So, like, they wanted to make sure they were catching the right person, and they definitely were. He would normally use ligature strangulation, and a lot of time he would use yellow, and I read this, yellow, like, cables that he would use for ligature strangulation. And it was a really, this is pretty graphic, but so this is a Spanish newspaper, and when he confessed, he didn't, so he would use a cane to rape them.
Oh.
And he had ordered it to be made specifically to rape women. So he, like, had it specifically made, and he threatened violence, and then he threatened them with such violence that he was going to stick it through them to come out their mouth.
Oh my god.
That was, like, his whole bit. So 2 of the people that he attacked were minors, and a sex worker came forward and gave a testimony because she was one of the 2 people who actually survived his attack. So they didn't die, and so she came on in the trial, and because of her, they were able to actually do criminal proceedings against him, and he was sentenced to 16 years in prison.
Only 16?
Fucking.
Yeah. So he was only sentenced to 16 years in Ecuador. He served 7, and then he lowered the sentences of well-behaved prisoners in half, and received another year due to the Great Jubilee, which he was given amnesty, which is the Catholic religious service. So then he got out after 7.
Oh my gosh.
So he got out, and then in 2000, he got his record cleaned.
What? Fucker.
It's only possible in Ecuador to get that taken off, and I think that was part of the amnesty program. And so
Such fucking
he
horseshit.
Was married, and he had daughters, and they moved to Spain. It doesn't say he ever did anything to his family, though.
But still, that's horrific.
It is
irony.
horrifying, but at least these little girls were okay. So he took, they went to Spain. He got a work he went legally, and at first Spain was like, there's no way he got into the country legally when they caught him in Spain.
Yeah.
But he did. It was just his record was clean, so there was nothing to flag. And so he went there, he worked, he did masonry, he was a doorman, he lived with his family, and apparently he had, like, girlfriends here. And he eventually worked as a parking attendant at an entertainment complex in Spain near a law school in Catalonia, and the town's name is Lleida in Spain.
Okay.
And so he worked at this big entertainment complex, and he helped run the cleaning, helped watch the cars. So there were 6 years went by in Spain, and nothing happened that we know of. They seem to be doing pretty well. And when they go into, when they're in Spain, a young student named Maria Basconunana, she was a student at the law school nearby. She used to park her car at the entertainment complex, and so he had catcalled her and her friends multiple times before this.
And this is why we don't fuck with catcallers.
Well, and this is it's important that she used to park there because her friends are able to recognize him and figure this out. So she was seen alive on the night of November 23rd. Her parents spoke to her at 10 p.m. and she said that she was going to go out to have dinner. Which is pretty common in Spain to be eating that late. And so she just talked to her parents and were like, hey, we're going to go eat. And her body was found 2 days later, a few streets away from the entertainment complex. She had a handkerchief tied around her neck and garbage bags wrapped around her body, and she'd been brutally raped. So there were several theories about her death. Some people thought it was like a boyfriend or a revenge crime because it was so violent. And it's not like he had been active in this area, so they didn't know they had a serial killer in their midst, because he is a serial rapist and serial killer, but he doesn't have a record. So technically, he's just some guy.
So fucked up.
Yeah.
That's
And so
infuriating.
her friends were like, this guy was real creepy to us all the time. And so they took testimonies from their friends, and that was given them enough evidence to arrest Chambra. And so Maria said that she'd constantly harassed her, so her friends told everything about them. People had called in saying that there was sexual, harassment happening, but people thought that the parking attendant was the one making the calls, and so they didn't take it. They thought that he was reporting other people getting it, not that it was the parking attendant who was doing it.
Oh my god.
They found a glove on her, or they found the garbage bags in the glove department of her car that were the same ones used by the cinema, which he worked at. So they were able to forensically connect them, because this is 2004. So his co-workers testified in the process, saying they hadn't noticed anything strange.
Because he's a fucking psycho who's done it a million times before. It's just another day.
Yeah.
They did do a DNA test.
Good.
And that incriminated him. And he argued that they were making everything up, and they thought he said that the agents took a sperm sample from a condom he had used and then inserted it into her vagina to indicate him as a culprit. So last time in Ecuador, he confessed.
Yeah.
This time he's trying to get away with it. So he was convicted.
Good.
He received a sentence of 45 years, divided in 20 years for the murder and another 12 for her rape. Another 13 for attempted rape and murder of a Romanian prostitute who testified in court after seeing images of him on the local media after his arrest.
Wow.
So she narrowly escaped to being the first victim back in Spain, and there may be other women that we don't know about, because serial killers and rapists don't just stop doing that.
Yep.
Right.
So he was given a chance to start over with his family, and they moved into a country, and it did not work.
Good on her for testifying.
Yeah,
real.
there's a lot of women who testified in this case.
Good.
Like the women in Ecuador, the sex worker in Ecuador who testified, who was able to put him away. This sex worker who testified against him after seeing him. So
Strong
she came
women.
forward. All of her friends went forward. So they did what they needed to do to get this man back behind bars. The prosecutors alleged that he attempted to conceal information from the police because when they first approached him, he said he allegedly disclosed his criminal record in Ecuador, but they didn't actually have the connection until journalists and people later coined the Monster of Machala. That was his Ecuadorian name, and then they realized that it was him.
Wow.
So he was
Does he have to disclose that information if his record has been wiped clean?
I don't think
not.
he technically has
I
to.
didn't
Like,
think
I don't
so.
think he has to if his record is clean. But the whole point is that he did the exact same MO, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
they made the
Yeah.
connection that he
Yeah.
was the same person. So he's been arrested and tried for murder and convicted of murder in 2 different countries.
But now he's behind bars.
He is behind
Where he
bars,
deserves
and
to
he's
be.
67, so he'll die there.
Good.
Yeah, it is good. It is an unfortunate... It is a sad thing, because I'm sure there is plenty of people in that amnesty
Yeah.
who got out for good behavior on minor charges and petty crimes and minor drug instances, and they're able to actually live their life now because of that amnesty.
Yeah.
And then you have this guy who only got away with it because he's clearly a psychopath and was able to trick everyone into letting him out. That's so scary. Like, he fooled all the cops, and he
Yeah.
told them what he did. And they still let him go after 7 years.
Yeah, let's not clear fucking serial rapists and
That's 1
murderers,
year
maybe. Like-
per woman at that point.
Oh my gosh, that's disgusting.
Less than 1 year per woman, because he
Yeah,
killed 8,
8, and he was only there for 7.
and then he got 9.
Yeah.
He killed his 9th victim, Maria.
Yeah.
And she was like literally a law student. Like, it's so sad. So there was a lot of women testifying, and I'm sure very, very scary circumstances. But he is back behind bars, which is where he belongs. He does not belong
Absolutely.
to be anywhere else, and it's a sad, like, I just feel so bad for Maria, because, like,
She was going places.
well, and also, like, she should have been safe, you know, from him.
Oh yeah.
And then, yeah. But he's obviously really, really clever and very, very smooth to be able to get away with this, to trick a whole jail system into letting him out. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But that is the story of Gilberto Chamba, and he is in prison in Spain right now.
Good.
Well, rot in jail,
I hope he
you
rots.
fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we hope you enjoyed your tour of Quito. Adios.
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 Follow us on Instagram at Darkside Tour Guides and on Twitter at Darkside Guides. Give us a like on Facebook at Darkside Tour Guides. Visit the blog at darksidetourguide.wordpress.com or email us at darksidetourguides@gmail.com.